On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we welcome you to Columbia, South Carolina, where a brand new statue of Asia Wilson stands proudly. Tonight, a top 15 matchup between Arkansas and South Carolina, part of We Back Pat Week as we continue to honor the legacy of Pat Summitt both on and off the floor. Hey everybody, Ryan Ruocco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you this Monday night here on ESPN. Outstanding matchup tonight in the SEC, Rebecca. For Arkansas, 4 losses this year, all against ranked teams, close games. They have a ton of talent, and it starts with Chelsea Dungee.
What a fun team this is to watch play because of their style, getting up and down the floor, taking a lot of threes, and they are led by Chelsea Dungee. She's the leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference, coming off a 33-point performance in her last game, capable from the three-point line, but where she really excels is off the bounce. Quick first step, terrific getting to the free throw line, leads Arkansas with 21 a game.
And that 21 a game leading the SEC. Meanwhile, for South Carolina, now ranked 4th in the nation. How about the combination of Zia Cook and Aaliyah Boston?
A couple dynamic sophomores lead the South Carolina inside-out attack. Zia Cook is a scorer. She's shooting nearly 50% from 3 and capable of creating her own shot. 6'5" Aaliyah Boston is a menace inside. Phenomenal shot blocker. Can finish with either hand and becoming consistent with her face-up game and the little wink to prove it.
And there is a member of this team to make it a big 3, not just a dynamic duo. For more on her, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Destiny Henderson, the point guard or lead guard of this team, is having to take over for Tyisha Harris, one of the most successful guards in South Carolina history. But she's learning that she has to be herself to have success. And what that is full-out speed. She's learning to push the pace in transition. Look at this. After the shot, she's there. She gets the rebound and goes coast to coast against Kentucky. She passes every defender on the floor, playing under control, gets the finish at the rim. Destiny Henderson is going to be such a challenge for Arkansas tonight. Mike Neighbors is sending 4 back to rebound in transition. He'll also have a spy on her. How they contain her speed will be a huge factor tonight.
You are watching the SEC on ESPN. Getting ready for the start of action from Colonial Life Arena. South Carolina, the number 4 team in the nation. Arkansas, the number 15. It'll be Taylor Thomas to jump it up for Arkansas, and the tip won by Victoria Saxton for South Carolina.
Arkansas starting out in a man-to-man defense.
You see the starting lineup for South Carolina with Cook, Henderson, and Boston, joined by Beal and Saxton.
And right
Beal often drawing the toughest defensive assignment for the South Carolina team.
Already on the first possession, an offensive rebound for South Carolina where they do so much damage.
Here is Dungee flipping it up with the left hand, couldn't finish, and now off and running as Holly just documented for us is Henderson, who gets fouled on the floor, and it'll be a side out of bounds for South Carolina.
And that's where South Carolina is so good. You see how quickly not only they outletted it, but Henderson caught it near half court to lead the break.
Catch fire won't go for Cook, but the rebound squirts out of bounds off of Arkansas, and South Carolina will have another chance here. Cook has struggled a bit last couple games, just 8 points on 26% shooting. Can't finish there, but does get fouled. And 2 free throws coming for Zia Cook. Never a bad thing when you're trying to get your shot back going.
Exactly right. And we were talking to Dawn Staley, and we asked her, is Zia Cook in a good place? And she said, no, she's not right now. And this is a player who had looked so good early on in the season. You see her numbers from the first 8 games. Really struggled the last 2, but this is a way to find your stroke, to find your confidence on the offensive end, getting to the free throw line.
And Dawn Staley said, first few games of the season, she was letting the game come to her, been forcing a bit of late, wants her to focus on getting to that SEC logo in the center of the lane. Arkansas starting lineup, Destiny Slocum having such an outstanding season, along with Chelsea Dungee, who hits that jumper. Amber Ramirez, a big-time threat from 3. Michaela Daniels and Taylor Thomas round out that starting 5. Good cross-court feed. That 3 is good for Bree Beal.
It's important because of the way the Arkansas team is playing defense, shading in to help inside. That's going to give the three-point shooters an extra beat to get it off.
Beal shooting it at over 40% from three this season, limited attempts, but still after shooting at just 29% last season. That won't go. Boston left alone for the rebound. Here's Henderson dashing, dishing, Cook can't hit. Boston cleans it up. Finishing on the inside.
That is really where Aaliyah Boston excels, is getting to the offensive glass. Long arms, gets inside, not afraid of contact when she's in there.
Dungey will fire again and hits so smooth off the dribble. She's averaged just under 26 points per game thus far through her first 5 conference matchups. Boston surrounded by 3, no matter.
Yeah, the help and the double did not come until she dribbled the basketball. There were players open on the perimeter, but I like that she's looking to attack early. Arkansas cannot match her size.
Dungey on the attack, gets denied by Boston. It'll stay here. Dawn Staley, a 4-time SEC Coach of the Year. It was interesting talking with Coach Staley this week. You see Mike Neighbors, the head coach of Arkansas, in his 4th season at the helm. Dawn Staley said, we have a really nice group, and I have to bring the nasty for this team.
She would prefer if one of them would do that. She had those players last year, Kiki Herbert Harrigan in particular, now off to the WNBA.
Daniels couldn't hit. South Carolina playing with pace here. Boston, nice big-to-big pass underneath, just couldn't be handled by Saxton. How about Boston from 3? Won't go. Good box out from Arkansas.
Aaliyah Boston has added the three-point shot to her game this year, but Mike Neighbors said we want her taking as many of those as possible because it also means she's not inside to offensive rebound the ball.
Daniels buries the jumper. A 9-7 South Carolina lead. First few minutes of action from Columbia. A top 15 matchup. Here's Cook wiggling through traffic and is going to get called for the offensive foul.
Arkansas sitting in a zone. You know, their priority is to keep South Carolina out of the paint, whether that's off of the dribble or passing it directly into their bigs. South Carolina, a lot more size than Arkansas on the front line.
Oh, nice job jumping in front. Destiny Henderson laying it in. And then Arkansas turns it over on the inbound.
And this is an Arkansas team that takes such good care of the basketball. They cannot afford those types of turnovers. Destiny Henderson is the fastest player I've seen in women's college basketball with the basketball in her hands. Incredible quickness while she's dribbling.
The bank shot won't go. Now, when you say that, partner, are you saying ever or this season?
No,
this
season.
Now?
This season. I mean, Sue Bird's in studio. I don't know if she's as quick as Sue Bird was in her day.
I did see Sue look up when you said that.
You know, it's not a good idea to try to shoot over Aaliyah Boston. It's just not, especially when she's got you by 3 or 4 inches.
Boston, the offensive rebound and the putback, just dominating on the interior as she often does.
6'9.5" wingspan on Aaliyah Boston.
A 13-7 South Carolina lead, 4 straight points. Jalen Mason into the game, along with Aaron Barnum for Arkansas. Knocked out of bounds, it'll stay with Arkansas.
Aaliyah Boston in SEC play averages just under 4 offensive rebounds a game. So she throws it up at first, doesn't have success, she continues to go after it.
6 points, 6 rebounds already for Aaliyah Boston. That rims out for Daniels. And here comes South Carolina. Dropped out of bounds by Henderson. And South Carolina turns it over. Both of these teams, though, do a nice job protecting the basketball. You mentioned Arkansas. 6th in the nation, 10.5 turnovers per game. South Carolina, 13 turnovers per game. That's a very manageable number as well. They're actually 28th in turnovers per game, but 9th in offensive turnover percentage, which accounts for pace and the amount of possessions you have. Now, Aaliyah Boston has had some big-time performances against Arkansas, including a 25-rebound game last season.
They played 3 times a year ago, and she had her way all 3. She had a bit of a slow start to the season in terms of her efficiency and scoring inside, as she found a lot more bodies around her on the defensive end, but she's really picked it up during SEC play.
Daniels tried to force it up, and yeah, Aaliyah Boston wasn't having that either.
It's not a good idea.
Aaliyah Boston is wondering when everyone's going to learn. Big Monday here on ESPN, part of We Back Pat Week, as we continue to honor the legacy of Pat Summitt and her influence on women's basketball, both on and off the floor. In Columbia, South Carolina, number 4, South Carolina with a 13-7 lead on number 15, Arkansas. A little more than 5 minutes into this opening quarter. Arkansas with a couple of turnovers, just 3 made field goals. They are one of their last 7 from the floor. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston already 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks.
And the blocks are almost the most significant thing. Arkansas is a team that likes to take threes, and they like to dribble penetrate. Well, what gives dribble penetrators problems is a shot blocker. And Aaliyah Boston has proved that already time and again here in this first quarter.
That deep 3 is short. Let's check in with Holly Rowe for more on Aaliyah Boston.
One of her frustrations with Aaliyah is that at 6'5", that big frame, sometimes she plays too small. She said sometimes her chicken wings are too close into her body. I want her out, owning that space, particularly on offense. I talked to Aaliyah about that yesterday, told her what her coach said, and she promised that she was going to own her space tonight. We're seeing her do it on the defensive end, but playing very big right now.
Beal is fouled, and Bree Beal is going to shoot 2.
Dawn Staley said she wouldn't mind if Aaliyah Boston got an offensive foul because she was looking to create contact. And it's hard because a player her size, you know, whether in high school or freshman year, you get fouls called on you just because you're bigger and stronger, and if you turn too aggressively, you get fouls, and she wants to stay out of foul trouble. But Dawn wouldn't mind if she got one of those by being a little bit more aggressive. We saw it early. We saw it early when she got triple teamed, and she was like, I don't care how many people are on me, I'm taking it up to the rim.
Cook dishes out, Henderson looking in. Lee here able to retrieve it, forced it up, couldn't get it to go, and the rebound taken in by Taylor Thomas.
The bigs are getting good looks, but opposite side threes are wide open for South Carolina when the ball goes inside to the block.
Mason sneaks a bounce pass over to Thomas.
Smart retreat right there. You see Aaliyah Boston, you dribble it back outside.
That was the ultimate sign of respect for Aaliyah Boston. Here's Ramirez. Good find, and Boston still able to yank it away from Thomas, even while it looked like Thomas had her beat. Catch, fire, and hit from 3 for Bree Beal. Her second of the quarter.
Bree Beal coming off a big game against Vanderbilt where she had 17 points on 3 of 4 threes. A player who had been struggling with some of her confidence early. I mean, come on, Aaliyah Boston, what are you doing to him? Right here, good hands down low. That'll count as a steal. Then we saw some good hands up high with the block.
I mean, is it fair to say triple-double watch with blocks at this point?
She had a triple-double in her first game as a freshman. She's capable of it.
6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks in the first quarter. A much-needed bucket there for Destiny Slocum, as Arkansas had gone cold.
see weak side out. When the ball goes into the post, is open.
Nice hands coming up with a steal. Dungey all the way in, lays it home. 7 points in the quarter for Chelsea Dungey, who is averaging more than 21 per game to lead the SEC. Good hedge there by Dungey to hold up Henderson. Boston doubled, bodies in, can't flip it home, another chance, no. And that's going to be a jump ball, as the possession arrow belongs to Arkansas. Coming up on ESPN and the app at 9, we head to Waco for a Big 12 battle between number 9 Kansas and number 2 Baylor, a sonic blockbuster. Dungey looking for help, finding it in Slocum. Slocum, good cut there, met by Boston, has to fling it out. Ramirez couldn't shake free, still 12 to operate for Arkansas. Ramirez, long 2 is good, 6-0 run from Arkansas.
You're going to need to be able to make mid-range jump shots and long shots when Aaliyah Boston is in the game. I mean, you see the hesitancy now from the Arkansas players to go anywhere near her and shoot.
I mean, it is a direct retreat. It almost reminds me of when I would have to go into the basement as a little kid, you know? You're getting out of there as quick as you can.
Especially if a sibling turned the lights off.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you're going up to, Mom, what was it you wanted again?
And this is what Arkansas wants to do. They want to get in the paint, not for their post players. That's off dribble penetration. They want to shoot a lot of threes and get to the free throw line. They haven't been able to get to the free throw line at all today because they've been getting blocked and not fouled.
Oh, how about that step back from Dungey, a thing of beauty, and it is an 8-0 Razorback run. Deep catch underneath, the layup won't go from Ami here. And here's another chance for Arkansas. Dungey in transition. Oh, nice ball fake. The jumper won't go from Davis. And South Carolina back the other way. Henderson with the speed, muscles in, and finishes beautifully off the window.
Yeah, she's so good there. And now Arkansas might have a chance to get some dribble penetration with Boston out of the game.
Slocum curling, dishing. Ramirez, such a threat from 3, but how about the quick almost push release from 2?
Arkansas has done a really good job, you know, staying in this game, hitting their shots, not letting all those blocks intimidate them from continuing to look to score.
Beal lobs it underneath. The bucket is good for Saxton plus the foul. Victoria Saxton, a chance for 3.
They're just relentless. South Carolina is relentless, getting the ball inside and scoring and getting to the offensive glass.
South Carolina, first in the league in offensive rebounds per game. First in the nation, I should say, in offensive rebounds per game. That free throw won't go, and it's out of bounds off of, I believe, Arkansas. Yeah, it's going to stay with South Carolina. Hit the foot of Destiny Slocum there, so another chance for Dawn Staley's team. Arkansas's losses this year to Maryland, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. Henderson finds Ami here. Big-to-big passing again, and the finish from Saxton.
Yeah, really nice high-low offense there for South Carolina.
23-17, South Carolina in front. They are a +7 in second chance points this quarter. Slocum's jumper too strong. Rebound Henderson, and South Carolina can hold for 1 here.
Yeah, Henderson's got to look for an on-ball screen. It's hard to stay with her and her quickness, especially going right.
Deep catch inside. Saxton had it stripped. And South Carolina will have 7.6 to operate here in this first. Arkansas trailed by 10, went on an 8-0 run to cut it to 2. South Carolina has scored 4 straight. Ami here, the spin, the finish off the window. Big finish to the first for Letitia Ami here, and South Carolina's lead is back to 8. What a quarter from Aaliyah Boston. Speaking of South Carolina bigs, big day for Asia Wilson. We'll hear from her coming up next here on ESPN. Asia Wilson, as she is forever immortalized outside of Colonial Life Arena, the all-time leading scorer at South Carolina, a 3-time first-team All-American, a 2017 national champion, and the NCAA tournament's most outstanding player. Asia Wilson joins our Holly Rowe right now.
Well, Asia, for a little girl from Columbia, South Carolina, what was it like today to have that statue dedicated and to have you immortalized forever there on campus?
I mean, it's truly amazing. I honestly can't even put it into words just yet. It was just great to have everyone that was there, and just, you know, to see it finally go up. I thought it was a joke in the beginning, so to see it out there like that, it's truly a blessing.
I know that you always wear your grandmother's pearls. She's a person that you have looked up to for such a long time, and you said something powerful and beautiful today about your grandmother and her legacy. What did you share?
You know, I just shared that my grandmother lived 4 blocks away from where I was standing, and she couldn't even walk and step foot on the University of South Carolina's campus because she was black. And now, you know, you look at it now, and you see that her daughter now, the same campus that she could not walk on, now her daughter stands there, and it's just there as a statue in bronze. And you know, it's just something truly special because everyone that knows me knows how close my grandmother was to me. And to know that she had to go through all those things is very sad, but at the same time, you know, you look and see they were all planting seeds for us, and we got to continue to do the same.
And you have done that. You have continued to plant seeds. Your beautiful message for little black girls everywhere. Asia, what does it mean to you to all these little girls can now look up to you and see you there forever? And what is that message you want to share with them?
You know, the message that I just want to share with the young black girls out there is, you know, never give up. As black women, we tend to get pushed underneath the rug or just ignored, but at the same time, our voices carry. And, you know, we always know when to put our foot down, and that's what it's really all about. You know, how to understand you can achieve whatever you would like to. That ceiling's no longer there. We're breaking that ceiling, and we're coming for everyone that's in our way.
You were a young woman who stayed home in South Carolina. You wanted to make a difference on that campus. And how do you describe, it's not just staying there, but the impact that you had while you were there that made them want to honor you in such a way?
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I chose the University of South Carolina. I chose to join Coach Staley and what she was bringing here. And, you know, when you look at Coach Staley, she's an African-American woman that has done everything that I wanted to do and to achieve. So I knew she was going to take me through the ropes and tell me the good, bad, the ugly of it all. So, you know, this is just a little piece of my legacy, and I hope for the future generations that's playing now, hope they continue to use this and know that they can, you know, they can go after anything they put their mind to.
So beautifully said. Asia, we are so proud of you, and that statue, it just brings me to tears. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Asia. A very meaningful day on the campus of South Carolina, and you take a look at that statue and the quote from Asia Wilson. Pretty awesome stuff, and a worthy honor that got the attention of the biggest star in sports. LeBron James was one of many to chime in, said that's so fire at Asia Wilson 22, congrats. And then Asia responded, my mentions were already in flames, now here comes King James, but thanks again. And LeBron said with a bunch of emojis, oops, my bad. He responds to you, he'll blow you up. But just an incredible honor for Asia Wilson, Holly.
And, you know, it wasn't just LeBron. I saw an avalanche of love and support from pro athletes all over the country, men and women. Very prominent NBA players were shouting her out. You know, she has been such a crossover athlete. She's featured in the marketing campaigns of the WNBA, and it was really precious to see all the love and support she got from the sports community when this statue was unveiled. And guys, I don't know, we're trying to do research, but I really don't know of any other statues in America of young women that played college basketball. I know other schools have said they were going to do it, but this is the first that has really erected one, and I just think it's absolutely momentous and incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing and so well deserved. And you're right, Holly, it's it's been hard to confirm that it's the first. It's obviously a difficult thing to nail down when it comes to research departments and sports information directors, but there is a lot of thought that it very well may be. Meanwhile, Arkansas on a 9-2 run here as Henderson misfires, gets it back another chance. Zia Cook picked up her second foul moments ago.
Yeah, Arkansas is a team that gets to the free throw line a ton, and we saw them a couple possessions ago finally get there for the first time as Aaliyah Boston hits the free throw line jumper. And they've already put 4 fouls on South Carolina here in this quarter, 1 away from the bonus. The free throw line is a vitally important part of what Arkansas wants to do, so a good start here to the second quarter.
Dungy has 14 points in this first. There you go, Rebecca. And Dungy's going to get free throws as she can add to the 14 points she already has in this first half. Now you can see there was some confusion as to whether or not it was side out of bounds or not, but it's going to be free throws, although it looks like Taylor Thomas is actually going to get those free throws for Arkansas.
When Arkansas played Baylor earlier this season at home, and Baylor was ranked 4th at the time, they won, and it was an upset victory for them, a huge win. They went to the free throw line 39 times. They were 30 of 39. Mike Neighbors likes to have his team between free throw attempts and 3-point field goal attempts being a 45 to 50 range in terms of that combined number. So to not have any in the first quarter, not a good sign for Arkansas, but to be there already in the second, great sign.
4 of 4 from the line now in the second. They're 2 of 5 from 3 thus far in the game. South Carolina 3 of 5. A 4-point South Carolina lead.
And some of that early success in the quarter was with Aaliyah Boston on the bench too, by the way. She's back in.
Boston just having a monster game thus far. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks in just 9 minutes. And a whistle against Arkansas. Boston causing issues again.
Her first game as a freshman, I just remember my overwhelming thought was, she looks like a woman amongst girls. She looks like a WNBA player, just in her physique and in her presence. Surrounded by the other players on the floor. And at the beginning of the season, I feel like she's now starting kind of to work her way back into the kind of shape that we saw her in a year ago in terms of her ability to go really hard for longer stretches.
You see her numbers, one of 6 players in the nation to hit those minimums in points, rebounds, and blocks per game thus far this season. Boston was South Carolina's first ever National Freshman of the Year a season ago. Daniels has to peel back out. Dungy, the crossover jumper won't go. Boston another rebound, her 9th. Henderson so swiftly into the front court. Arkansas did a nice job getting back, though. Holly Rowe told you that was a Mike Neighbors key for Arkansas's defense.
And you see it with every Arkansas shot that they take. They have one player in the paint trying to get an offensive board. Everybody else is in retreat.
Well, they are 317th in offensive rebounding rate, and that is by design.
Yeah. Mike Neighbors said we don't recruit to it, we don't work on it. Although he did point out, because they played more than any other game, more games than any other team, that right now in total rebounds, they're leading the NCAA.
That's right. 15 games will help you with that.
Yes, it will.
In a COVID-altered season. Meanwhile, I mean, Rebecca, it just needs to be said as Destiny Littleton gets ready to shoot these free throws. There are a lot of Destinies in this game. 4 Destinies in this game.
In one game.
In one game.
That's a lot of Destiny.
Now, I was trying to, was there some sort of cheesy pun that we could use throughout, you know, just to make fun? I don't think you can. I think you just need to leave the 4 names sit by themselves.
Yeah.
I saw you have a subtle attempt there, though. Ramirez. Ramirez has been guarded so closely on the perimeter because she is such a threat from 3 as Dungy tried to sneak that in, They're going to say that's out of bounds off of Arkansas. Looked like it had hit South Carolina pretty clearly. But it is going to be a turnover from Arkansas. And it'll be the 4th turnover for the Razorbacks. 7-point South Carolina lead. And a 3-second violation called against South Carolina as they turn it over for a 7th time in this half.
Yeah, Bree Beal is a big guard, so sometimes they run a set to get her posting up, and she was just unaware that her left foot was in the lane. You hate when 3 seconds get called just because your foot's a little bit in there and you don't realize it. She wasn't even posting up that hard.
You want to earn it if you're going to get that call.
Yes!
Dungy shakes, can't hit.
And credit Boston, because she switched out on Dungy and she was able to stay with her and still contest well.
Grissett dished, the wing 3 won't go. Offensive rebound taken by Grissett, who has it stolen. Here comes Daniels. And the layup goes on the inside. Barnum able to finish after the big-time effort from Grissett, to no avail on the offensive end for South Carolina. You see the edge for points in the paint, though, for South Carolina, plus 12 in this first half.
And there they go. There they go to Bree Beal, the guard with size, posting up.
Another offensive rebound for South Carolina.
Tennessee had success posting up their big guards against Arkansas as well.
They're a +9 in second chance points. Big advantage in offensive rebounds. A 5-point lead.
Just in my living room. Doesn't everybody? Coach, come on.
Might be happening in stores sometime soon.
Oh, you don't know stores.
Henderson spinning, couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound underneath, stripped out of bounds.
Aaliyah Boston's presence on the floor forces you to do this. Take mid-range jump shots. A nice step back by Chelsea Dungy, but that's not what Arkansas wants to do. They want threes and layups. Boston on the court forces you to do what you don't want to do on the offensive end and sometimes on the defensive end as she gets fouled going to the basket. But look at this breakdown. Arkansas doesn't want to take shots from the mid-range. They want paint, threes, and free throws, and they've been forced to work in the mid-range mostly because of Aaliyah Boston.
Well, only 7% of their points normally come from the mid-range. In this game, it's almost 50% of their points that have come from the mid-range.
Yeah. That's the Aaliyah Boston effect right there, my friend.
I know what Coach Landers brought up, though, is an interesting point that, you know, as well as South Carolina's played, with how explosive Arkansas is, for them to be within 6 without getting buckets in the areas they normally do, you know, if you're Mike Neighbors, you have to feel somewhat encouraged about that.
For sure.
Dungy gives it up. Thomas. Mason stops left of the lane. Davis looking for help, 8 to shoot. We know Dungy can create for herself. Dungy dribbles it off the foot of Boston, 3 to shoot. Slocum heaves and airballs it out of bounds. Good D there from South Carolina. Here's our Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the app. Number 6 Tennessee is in Gainesville to take on the Gators at 7 Eastern. Then Duke squares off against Pittsburgh at the Peterson Event Center.
All of those games are, we think. Anytime we do a promo, we think, we hope.
Well, we got news today that Vanderbilt, Stephanie White, ending their season after having several issues with COVID, deciding to stop the rest of the season. How about Slocum, coast to coast, through some contact as well. And now Henderson, one destiny to another, and a foul underneath.
And Destiny Slocum, just a good job getting out in transition, handling it all herself. Boston trying to get back, but Slocum in there, able to hit. And I don't know that Boston crossed half court coming back the other way. She might be getting a bit tired.
Slocum just 4 points tonight, the transfer from Oregon State, who also was previously at Maryland. At Oregon State averaged over 15 points per game.
Yeah, Aaliyah Boston looks a little bit tired to me. It might be worthwhile for Arkansas to give it one more shot, drive it at her, because when you're tired is when you might get a foul called.
And Boston.
But if she gets her win, it's got to be a block. But it might be worth it.
Boston 11 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks in 14 minutes. Does not have a personal foul yet. Here's Dungy. Dungy stops short of Boston, doesn't get the roll. Offensive rebound held momentarily by Arkansas, but then taken by South Carolina. Nice work by Beal. Henderson, oh, how about the handle? Couldn't finish. Another offensive rebound. And Grissett was then tied up. It's going to be a jump, and Arkansas owns the possession arrow.
14 offensive rebounds by South Carolina.
That is a massive number for a first half.
They've missed 21 shots, and they have 14 offensive rebounds.
Well, and they're giving themselves opportunities of late. They have no field goals in the last 5 minutes. Obviously, they'd rather not have those attempts. Here's Slocum. Slocum into the paint. Good find, and the layup goes down from Barnum.
Really?
Able to beat Boston with the pass that time.
Really nice decision. Bring Boston over as the help side defender and then dump it down.
The layup is good for Bree Beal. Nice pass there from Aaliyah Boston.
Chelsea Dungy only has 1 foul. She stepped away from that as if she was in foul trouble.
Davis meets Boston. Give it up. Here's Daniels. Barnum, quick step, just couldn't finish. Sort of lulled the defense to sleep, and now Daniels on the steal. Her three is good. It's a 2-point game as Michaela Daniels comes up with the steal and the three. Just the third three of the game hit by Arkansas. They are first in Division I in total threes made. Littleton will fire off the dribble and bury it from downtown. South Carolina 4 of 7 from deep as a team. Marquisha Davis gives it up. Here's Dungy, who has 14 in the half. Stops on a dime. Out to Davis. Her three won't go. Boston another rebound. Her 10th. A double-double in this first half for Aaliyah Boston. And South Carolina will take a timeout, try and draw up a final play here with 22.1 to go in the second quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. A moment ago, really good decision here from Slocum.
Yeah, as soon as you see Boston coming over, a great shot blocker. You dump it down to your post player, finishing with her left hand, Aaron Barnum. And, you know, halftime, I've lived it, so I understand halftime can't come fast enough for Aaliyah Boston. She's tired.
5th double-double of the season for Boston. She has it in the first half of this game. 11 points, 10 rebounds, also has 5 blocks. 9 seconds left, and that is going to be a whistle going the other way. I believe it's Boston who's going to get hit with the offensive foul. And it is her first. So 10th turnover of the half for South Carolina. You normally turns it over just 13 times a game.
Again, could be a fatigue foul.
Chance for Arkansas here. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Dungy looking for space, not finding any, hooks it up. And that'll do it for the first half of action. Add one more rebound to the ledger of Aaliyah Boston. 11 points, 5 blocks, 11 rebounds. Dungy with 14 points. A lot of it coming in the mid-range, as that's where Arkansas was forced to get their offense. But a 5-point South Carolina leads. Dawn Staley's team goes into the half, and we send things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Mike Neighbors, Aaliyah Boston is really discouraging your offense in the paint. How can you combat that and be more aggressive against her?
I hope she doesn't come out in the second half as first plan, but I'm sure she will. We got to shoot it before we get to her. You know, we've worked on that a little bit. We've been successful doing it a couple times, but I think we've got to shoot it before we get to her, force her to come a little bit higher. Than our post players need to do a good job of rolling behind her and finding that empty spot created by her coming up so high.
We saw them do that one time successfully. Offensive rebounding. I know you're not built necessarily to do that, but it's really hurting you with second chance points right now. How do you combat that?
Well, it's an effort thing, and then it's some luck things. We had really good effort twice, and we kicked it out of bounds. So got to need a little bit of luck. Got to need just everybody continuing to try to do it. Maybe make them shoot it a little further out, too. You know, when they're shooting it around the rim so much, it's going to be a close rebound. So I think we got to be okay giving up some 12, 15-footers and maybe even some threes. Just try to force them to play outside the halo. But, you know, I'm really proud of how hard our kids have played.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, Mike Neighbors' team within 5 at the half at South Carolina. Top 15 matchup. Normally shooting 25 free throws per game. They are 6th in the nation, but tonight just 4. South Carolina a +10 in the paint, a +9 on the offensive glass. And you heard Mike Neighbors tell Holly at the end of the half, just got to grind and battle on the offensive glass and maybe try and force South Carolina to take shots from a little further away, not like where Aaliyah Boston just got that one in close.
Well, she started farther away, but then a really nice job, just dribble penetrating, help never came, and she's dangerous one-on-one.
That three is good. Michaela Daniels connecting from downtown.
Like Neighbors said, you know, our offense gives us a puncher's chance. The way we play against top teams gives us a puncher's chance. He said we just have to find a way to get another stop here and another stop there to beat these great teams.
Daniels now 2 of 4 from downtown as Boston passes out of the triple team. That three is good. Bree Beal has had it going tonight.
Yeah, I thought that was available in the first half, and Boston was looking to score off of it, but she's getting attention. The weak side out three-point shooter is going to continue to be open.
12 points for Beal. Her 3rd three of the game on 3 attempts. Slocum, little give and go. Step back three is good. How about the offensive firepower to begin this 3rd quarter?
If Arkansas keeps making threes, man, this is going to be a fun second half.
Boston can't squeeze it in. Tried to get back at it, kept it alive. Another offensive rebound for South Carolina. Their 15th of the game. Boston just got great position there.
Yeah, really nice job. An on-ball screen, made the extra pass to the wing so they would have the better angle to deliver to Boston.
Daniels stops on a dime. On the attack, Thomas couldn't get it to go, but does get fouled.
Aaliyah Boston sets the on-ball screen, and then she rolls South Carolina. The pass to the wing, inside, perfect position. Was that second foul on Aaliyah Boston on this end of the floor?
Yes, it was.
That's something to keep an eye on. She was really good about not fouling in that first quarter, as you see the monster game she's had so far. When Arkansas was attacking her, she was able to block shots. In South Carolina's game against Kentucky, Aaliyah Boston got 2 early fouls in the first quarter, didn't play in the second quarter. South Carolina ended up going into the half down 9, and then she had a monster second half. We've seen how impactful she can be already today when she's on the floor.
Saw those incredible numbers from Boston just 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter. 4-point South Carolina lead. Here is Cook. Just 2 points for Zia Cook, who had her only single-digit scoring games each of the last 2 South Carolina contests. Nice bind underneath from Boston, and the finish from Saxton.
They've got really nice chemistry, those two post players, with one another, finding one another in the high-low situation.
Daniels, cross court, catch, fire, no for Slocum. And Cook with the rebound. See South Carolina plus 16 in the paint in this game. Oh, Cook, jump stop, left it short. Zia Cook 0 for 3 from the floor. Dungy on the attack, lays it in smoothly with the left hand.
Yeah, that was a really nice take by Dungy to get around Henderson.
16 for Chelsea Dungy. Coming off a 33-point performance in a win against Florida. That pass just squeezes in, and Beal is fouled. She'll shoot 2.
And again, it's great to have a guard with big size who can flash cut into the lane like that, post up. She's done that a few times already today. There it is. Go by on the right side, finish with the left hand.
What stands out to you about Dungy's game?
Just her ability to get her shot off today. You know, she is so good typically at driving in and getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim. Well, Boston's taken that away. So she's been able to score in the mid-range. She's got that quick step back move so she can finish from the perimeter.
She is so terrific, and she's battling through injury. She's only missed 1 game in her career, and a really nasty sprained ankle against Tennessee, where she sprained it on the inside and then the next game on the outside. But she's also fighting through what I call a major blister. Almost the entire bottom of her foot was a blister that's popped and had to peel off. I did get her permission to use that video that she showed it to me on our Zoom call together. But this is a tough girl, and she said, I am not going to miss games. I am not sitting out, and that's the kind of pain she's playing through tonight.
You know, this is why Holly's special, because only she can ask a player, hey, can I get a picture of your blister to use on air, and have them say yes.
Although we have a great producer and director, but they left that up a little too long. and another great job by Bree Beal at her size, the guard position, to get inside and finish.
I was going to say, I'm glad Dungy gave her permission. I don't know if the audience gave theirs, though. The runner is good for Cook, and suddenly the lead is 10 for South Carolina.
This is what South Carolina does to you. If they can get out and transition a couple possessions in a row, they can go on a quick 6-0, 8-0, 10-0 run.
Slocum tied up. Arkansas has the possession arrow. Tip off the weekend with the first game of our NBA Friday doubleheader. Celtics Sixers on ESPN, plus Saturday afternoon Duke and Louisville highlight our full day of hoops across all our networks. And Saturday night on ESPN Plus, UFC 257, Conor McGregor is back, squaring off against Dustin Poirier, the number 2 lightweight contender in the main event. That's a look at Friday and Saturday's big lineup.
Nice job, Ramirez finishing inside. She hasn't really been able to get going from the perimeter yet here. She is a dangerous three-point shooter.
Catch, fire, and Beal couldn't hit. Rebound taken by Dungy.
Right pass, though, by Boston. The double team came. Beal was open, and she trusted her teammate.
How about Dungy again? The crossover in the mid-range.
Dungy's been a monster. She's been a monster so far in this game. She's coming off a game where she had 33 against Florida.
18 for Dungy, and every time South Carolina has looked like maybe they could separate, dig into double digits a little bit, Arkansas's had an answer. Nice setup, and the finish from Victoria Saxton, the junior out of Georgia.
32 points in the paint for South Carolina right now.
Slocum spinning, couldn't finish, out of bounds off of Boston. And it's going to be Arkansas basketball. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. South Carolina an 8-point lead.
What I try to emulate from Pat is when any coach sends me a text message, emails me, I try to get back to them as soon as possible. You never know what impact your words could have on a young coach.
Beautiful sentiment from Dawn Staley. Pat Summitt's impact just so remarkable for so many young coaches, and the Pat Summitt Foundation bringing light to Alzheimer's and raising money for Alzheimer's research in an effort to end this insidious disease. And we know Pat Summitt's fingerprints are all over the women's college basketball game. Take a look at some of the notable current head coaches who are part of her tree. It's incredible.
Yeah, and 4 or 5 of those women are coaching in the SEC.
Dungy got hit from behind, was unable to finish, but is going to shoot 2. Dungy's first free throw attempt of the game. She was 17 for 17 last time out against Florida.
Well, she is such a dynamic, exciting scorer. I asked her where she learned to play, and she said it was my mom's shy. Her mom grew up playing sports, actually 6-on-6 basketball in Haskell, Oklahoma. And she said, you know, when I was little, everything I do was with my left hand, but they couldn't really teach me how to shoot left-handed. So in middle school, they taught her how to shoot right-handed. They've never switched back. So she does everything in life with her left hand, but she does shoot the basketball with her right, and she credits her mom, Shy, to really helping her become the player she is today.
Is that like exactly the way you operate,
yeah,
Rebecca?
Right with my left hand, everything, but sports are righty, because that's how you're taught when you're a kid, because almost everybody's right-handed.
Cook has just 1 field goal in this game, and a foul underneath that Arkansas is not happy with. Jalen Mason thought she was playing good D on the left block, and the shot clock had wound down to 8. Second foul on Mason. Good game here in Columbia. 6-point South Carolina lead. That 3 is good, and a big one for Zia Cook.
Yeah, she'd had a quiet evening so far. She had 4 points before taking that shot, and those corners are going to be open because of the attention that the bigs are getting inside.
Little trouble with the handle, but Davis able to save the possession. Slocum, the pirouette, the step back, and the bucket. That's a pretty pro move from Destiny Slocum.
We'll go back and rewatch this game, see how many of Arkansas's scores have come on step-back moves as they've created space from the D.
South Carolina turns it over for the first time in this third quarter.
Destiny Slocum, just a nice combination move, the spin dribble, and then she knows she's got Henderson there, who is such a great athlete and can elevate and contest.
Slocum gonna check out with 3:30 to go in this third quarter. Slocum so far with 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting. She's averaging 15.5 per game this season. Here's Ramirez, who has not gotten space on the perimeter. A deadly 3-point shooter. Center of the lane, the layup goes for Erin Barnum.
That time, unafraid to challenge Aaliyah Boston, and success.
Cook, not that time. Long rebound and a foul called against South Carolina as Davis was off to the races following the long board.
I give Arkansas so much credit because there's been a few times in this game where it's looked like South Carolina was going to go on a run and create some serious separation, and every time Arkansas has had an answer to keep this game within reach.
And that is the 3rd foul on Zia Cook, something to watch. You see Ramirez, 46% from 3 on the season. No attempts tonight. Trying to get space all night, hasn't been able to. Dungy, good find, and the layup is good from Barnum.
A really good job by Barnum because she was wide open at the free throw line, but that's not the shot Arkansas wants her to take. They continued to work the ball around until she got the shot she did want to take.
Center of the lane, layup is good for Victoria. Saxton flashed free and was found quickly. 10 points now for Saxton, who's had a really nice night. Barnum back to work, will fling it out to Dungy. Dungy on the attack, lays it up wildly. Barnum there, can't put it in. Boston the rebound. her 14th of the game. Henderson, the spin, banked it up too strong. Boston gobbles it up, puts it in, and the foul.
I mean, she is just a relentless beast on the offensive boards, and I say that with absolutely nothing but affection. She's running the floor, gets down. If she's in the area, she's going to get her hands on the basketball, and good luck ripping it away from her.
Well, Rebecca, I'm glad you pointed that out because at 6'5", she is running in this game in transition with seemingly no problem, keeping up with the speed and quickness of this Arkansas team. And I just marvel at her feet. She is so versatile. She can step out and hit threes. She can do everything on the basketball court. She's my favorite player in America to watch. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I'm trying to be objective, and I can't because I just love her.
No, see, but what I love about your objectivity, Holly, is you have love for everyone. That's why it works. So you can give that sort of declarative love because everybody knows Holly loves everybody in the best
I love
way
her
possible.
even more.
Yeah.
Yes.
An 8-point South Carolina lead after Arkansas had nibbled it back down to 3. South Carolina trying to build it back up into double digits. Boston. The jump shot. You bet. Aaliyah Boston. 22 points, 15 rebounds, and showing off every aspect of her game.
Pick and pop. Add it to the pick and roll and the pick and pop and drive. Like, I think she's made a 3 this game.
7-0 run for South Carolina. A 69-59 lead for Dawn Staley's team. Now we'll see. Can Arkansas keep it from getting any greater? Every time South Carolina's got to about 10 or 11, Arkansas has had an answer, gone on a little 4-0, 6-0 burst. Now what happens here? Looked like a steal, but a foul underneath as Arkansas was trying to contend with Boston.
Yeah, they were trapping out front, and so a guard ended up inside. I think it was Slocum and was pushing a little too hard on the post.
20 points, 15 rebounds, 6 of them offensive, and a little bunny for Beal. Bree Beal is at a big night as well. 18 points now. The crossover from Slocum. On the attack, Davis couldn't finish. Guess who was there? Boston again. Here's Henderson. Wheeling it back out, about a 9-second difference, game and shot clock. Been a strong finish to this third for South Carolina. Saxton can't lay that one in. Here comes Daniels, 13 seconds left in the quarter. Daniels trying to take it right to the rack and does. One of those times you're okay not holding for the final shot. On the other end, Saxton can't finish. Rebound controlled by Dungy. And Arkansas able to make sure it's 10, not 14 at the end of the third. Aaliyah Boston has been sensational. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 6 blocks. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Well, Asia Wilson at the half, blowing kisses to her adoring fans in Columbia, South Carolina on the day she has a statue dedicated to her after her sensational career. A 3-time first-team All-American, a national champion in 2017, the NCAA tournament's most outstanding player, and is the reigning WNBA MVP.
And to bring a program where it had never been before and to do it as a local kid, she will be remembered forever for that, and especially in South Carolina.
And she is such an incredible young woman, an amazing leader. And yes, a legend who should never have to buy a drink in that town ever again. Boston lays it in. Aaliyah Boston might get that treatment by the time she's done here.
She'd have to wait till she graduates, though.
22 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 blocks. It's a 12-point lead for South Carolina, who shot at 12 of 19 in that third quarter. Boston has been aided by Bree Beal as well, who has a career-high 18 points tonight.
Yeah, Bree Beal has been really good, and you can see that she's got a lot more confidence in her stroke the past couple of games. It's interesting because if you're talking about all of the offensive rebounds for South Carolina, 16 of them. And Mike Neighbors said, you know, that's not what we do, but we get our extra possessions by not turning it over. They only have 6 turnovers this game, so they only have 2 fewer field goal attempts than South Carolina, even though South Carolina has been all over the offensive glass.
I mean, one of the big things for Arkansas, Rebecca, is they have not gotten their attempts at the line or from 3 that they are used to getting. Henderson buries a 3, and South Carolina has its largest lead.
South Carolina shooting 7 of 12 from the three-point line. Because their bigs draw so much attention, they have to be able to hit from the perimeter. When they lost to NC State earlier this year.
There's a 3. Taylor Thomas connecting. She just picked up her 3rd foul as well.
When South Carolina lost to NC State earlier this year, 2 of 12 from the three-point line.
UConn, Tennessee, Thursday, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Holly, Rebecca, and I will have that one for you. Looking forward to that rivalry being renewed. The wing 3 is good for Destiny Littleton. All of Destiny's children involved tonight.
Really good, unselfish offensive possession for South Carolina last time as well.
Boston slides to secure the steal. South Carolina in control. Boston. Ooh, halfway down and it popped out. But how about the rip away from Beal and the layup? A career-high 20 points for Bree Beal. And South Carolina's lead has ballooned to 17.
Bree Beal has been terrific on the offensive end of the floor, but she is known for her defense. So here, let's do both. A little D, a little O. There's a reason Aaliyah Boston is Holly Rowe's favorite player in America. She's got the whole package, blocking shots, finishing inside, getting to the offensive glass, had a double-double in the first half alone. She just looks like a grown woman sometimes among girls, doesn't she, Ryan?
Really, it's unbelievable. And what a running mate tonight. Bree Beal for the 2nd straight game, setting a new career high. 20 points tonight for Beal to go with Aaliyah Boston's 22. Beal, the number 11 recruit in that 2019 class, was Illinois' Miss Basketball. Regularly drew the toughest defensive assignment last season as a freshman. Adding her scoring punch this season as a sophomore, as Dungy, who has acquitted herself well tonight, dribbles that one out of bounds.
Yeah, South Carolina in his zone on that possession, and it looked like Arkansas didn't quite figure out where they could find the openings.
I mean, Rebecca, for Arkansas to only have attempted 11 threes thus far this game.
South Carolina's done a great job driving them off the line on the three-point line and then having the shot blocker in back to protect the basket on the drives.
Splitting the D. Beal can't hit that one, and the rebound is secured by Arkansas. We'll see if Arkansas has another run in them. They can score in a hurry when they get hot from deep, and they have been resilient throughout the night.
And
won't go.
What's really impressive to me about South Carolina is you see them get a bucket in transition with a beautiful pass and finish with Boston. Is Arkansas, for the most part, has done a decent job in their defensive transition, and there have been times where South Carolina, when they've been slowed down, could struggle to score in the half court, but that's not been the case today.
Easy look inside. Not much of a contest there from Dungy, as Amihir finishes. And the lead is now 21, a 46-22 edge in the paint for South Carolina. Dungy gets fouled there, and we'll go to the line. Hey, coming up on ESPN and the app at 9, we head to Waco for a Big 12 battle between number 9 Kansas and number 2 Baylor, a Sonic blockbuster.
Well, guys, Baylor is one of the best teams in the country. 4 guards average double figures. They're coming off a huge win Saturday on the road against Texas Tech, where their best player, Jared Butler, didn't play his best. So Baylor undefeated, 12-0. I'm telling you, they are one of the most exciting teams to watch in America. I know as soon as I get off with you, I will be sitting on my couch watching that game. Jay Billis and Dan Schulman on the call.
You know what I love about Holly? No matter what is coming up after us, she somehow has an incredible level of expertise because she's into everything. The other day, we had gymnastics following us, and you know, of course, Holly, she wasn't on the broadcast with us, wanted us prepared, sent us a scroll about what a huge gymnastics matchup it was following our game. But yes, we'll stay tuned, Holly.
Yes.
Thank you, please.
And thanks for waiting until our game's over.
Boston lays it in. Well, Aaliyah Boston continuing to beef up the numbers. 26 points, 16 rebounds, 6 blocks. Daniels can't hit. It's out of bounds off of Boston, and so Arkansas will retain possession. And now Boston is gonna lumber out with a big smile on her face after an absolutely riveting performance tonight. Efficient, dominant, filling all columns.
She should have a smile that big on her face, and so should Dawn Staley, because she's got Aaliyah Boston for 2.5 more seasons.
Ooh. Dungy got fouled. See if they give her shots here. It's just been incredible watching Aaliyah Boston work, and her game is expanding too. I mean, we've seen the comfort from beyond the arc now as well. Dawn Staley even joked with her and said, "What are you, jump shot Judy now?" And Aaliyah Boston actually took it as a compliment, thought it was funny, even though it was Dawn Staley's way of reminding her, hey, we still need you to do work inside, even though now you can shoot it from the outside, Holly.
That's right. She's so versatile, and she really expanded her game. This year during quarantine, she flew home for about 3 weeks to spend time in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, where she is from. And she said, I got in the gym with my sister and a couple people, and nobody's there, nobody's watching, so I could just experiment and mess around. And that's where she's really gotten a little more creativity and versatility even this season. But I did promise her I would talk about her fabulous hair tonight on television, guys, so I cannot go without saying that. She thought that color would really pop. She's always got fun, creative, colorful braids, and it just shows you her bright and sunny personality.
I love the breakdown, Holly. It is terrific, as has been Boston's game. Well, Thursday on ESPN, UConn and Tennessee meet. Gino Auriemma tied with the legend Pat Summitt right now, 1,098 wins. Gino a chance to go ahead on Tuesday, assuming UConn does get that game in. And then his next game after that would be against Tennessee. Pretty poetic on Thursday on ESPN.
UConn has only played 7 games so far this season, 7-0. They haven't played since January 9th, and that was their only game in January. Their opponents have been hit hard in terms of COVID. Games canceled, games having to be rescheduled.
That won't go, but a foul, and Bree Beal is going to shoot 2. Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe with you. Appreciate you hanging out with us on a Monday evening. How about the SEC, Rebecca, and just how strong this conference is? 7 teams in the top 25 this week. Seeing 2 of them here tonight.
Yeah, Kentucky has got one of the best players in the country in Ryan Howard. It's a powerhouse. Georgia entered the top 25 today for the first time in a while as well.
22 points now for Beal, adding to her career high. Slocum gets it out to the wing. That 3 banks in for Marquisha Davis. And there's still some work to be done here for South Carolina. It's a 15-point game, more than 4 minutes left.
Especially against a team with the 3-point capabilities that Arkansas has and the ability to quick shoot.
It seemed Aaliyah Boston's day was done. We'll see if it is. Henderson able to finish
at the 10, 16 points for Destiny Henderson. How about Ramirez has not had an attempt from 3 tonight as that foul's called against South Carolina.
Cook was literally trying to bust through the screen on that one. And you know, I thought Ramirez had the room on the handoff when the defender got caught up to take that 3, and she just looked reluctant to shoot it.
Last year was her first with Arkansas, a transfer from TCU. You wonder if that might be a conversation, Rebecca, after this game from Mike Neighbors about, hey, I mean, you need to hunt those shots a little bit more. You're so good from downtown. You're not always going to have as much space as maybe you did in the past.
Yes.
Slocum now with 13. And another bucket in the paint for South Carolina. This time, Lily Brissett.
Yeah, Dawn Staley's got really talented players, guards and bigs coming in off her bench.
Denied. An emphatic rejection from Amihir. Brissett fades away, can't finish. 3:10 to go on a running clock in this fourth quarter. On the move, nice finish from Erin Barnum. Barnum has had some really bright moments off the bench in this game for Arkansas. 13 points on 6 of 10 shooting. And a denial. Barnum on the rejection, but couldn't hang with it. And the persistence from Amihir. South Carolina has just owned the paint.
That's where they make their money right there.
Slocum can't hit. Cook, a free lane all the way to the rack.
I think it's what, 40% of their paint points come from their guards as well. So it's not just Boston and their bigs that they're pounding the ball into. It's transition. It's the guards off of dribble penetration.
A 26-point advantage in the paint for South Carolina. 2:02 to go in this fourth quarter. Hey, you know, we want to make sure that Tara Vanderveer has her correct win total. We have to bump her up one.
She's worked hard for all of them.
1,105. Stanford losing last night against Colorado in Boulder, and Louisville today being named the #1 team in the nation, first time in the program's history.
Yeah, impressive. Jeff Walls and his staff have to be proud of what that team has been able to accomplish. A lot of new faces in Louisville this year.
Cook gets fouled by Slocum. And Zaya Cook able to find a little bit more of a rhythm as the game went on after struggling early. By the way, how about this, Rebecca? Aaliyah Boston, third SEC player over the last 20 seasons with 25 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks in a conference game. The others, Candace Parker and Sylvia Fowles. WNBA MVPs, pretty good company.
Yeah, that's pretty good company.
Center of the lane, and another bucket in the paint for Brissett. And the bigs of South Carolina as Slocum gets it to go plus a foul.
Aaliyah Boston's been phenomenal this game. Bree Beal has been really good. And then you think like Cook, it's kind of been a quieter night. Destiny Henderson didn't have one of the monster performances that she's had. What is South Carolina going to look like on the night where they've all got it going? I don't want to be that opponent.
No one wants to get that answer. Now Henderson, a career high 10 assists tonight to go with 14 points.
And not to say that she hasn't had a great game, because she certainly has.
But your point is, she can fill it up as well.
Yeah.
No, I understand it. Can I ask you a comp question, partner?
All right.
Does Aaliyah Boston remind you of anyone in particular?
As a freshman, when I was first watching her play, she reminded me of Sylvia Fowles in that she was just so much more dominant, a bigger physical presence than most other players on the floor. But Sylvia Fowles hasn't brought her game out to the three-point line and certainly didn't have the range that Boston has when she was at LSU. But that was the player when I first saw her that I was thinking, she reminds me of Sylvia.
Just a dominant physical force.
Yes.
Both ends.
Shot blocker, rebound, everything.
Fowles, a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA as well, to go with that MVP. Layup won't go. But more free throws coming for South Carolina. Grissett fouled on the putback. How about for Arkansas, Rebecca? Showed a lot of fight throughout this game, multiple times where it looked like South Carolina was going to break away. Took until midway through this fourth quarter for that to really happen for South Carolina. How about Arkansas, what they take out of this game and their prospects moving forward?
Well, you know, coming into the game, Mike Neighbors said, you know, our style of play gives us a puncher's chance. And it certainly did for 2.5 quarters of this game. It's tough anytime they come across an opponent that has a lot of size inside, that has a shot blocker or 2 or 3, and a team that can really defend them on the perimeter. South Carolina is a tough matchup for Arkansas' style of play.
10 blocks in this game for South Carolina. The layup banks in for Anaya Russell. And 18 seconds remaining in this one. South Carolina will improve to 10-1. Arkansas will fall to 11-5. It's all cosmetic at this point. Dungy fouled and will shoot 2 free throws with 1.5 to go.
It's not all cosmetic to her, my friend.
It sure isn't.
She's gonna try to get 2 more at the line.
Dungy with 22 points in this game. These will be just her 3rd and 4th free throws after she shot 17 free throws against Florida. South Carolina in this second half, 66% shooting from the floor, just 3 turnovers.
Wow.
That will do it. An impressive performance tonight in Columbia as South Carolina takes down Arkansas 104-82 the final. Aaliyah Boston, just a monster game, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 6 blocks, also had 3 assists, and South Carolina's 21st straight win against an SEC school. Seventh straight victory for South Carolina. And a really impressive second half from South Carolina, shooting it at 66%, limiting the turnovers, and they just took Arkansas out of their game. Denied them looks from the three-point line, didn't let them get to the free throw line, and they put up 104.
Dominant defensive performance, and that's where it's always going to start with South Carolina. And then on the offensive end, they shared the basketball and were just so efficient. Am I supposed to not talk during a school's song?
You know what? I was just thinking,
I don't know the etiquette. We're not usually.
I was literally just thinking, we're going to have to discuss this in post-production, how to handle the school song after the game. Easier than handling Aaliyah Boston. Let's take a look at her performance tonight, Rebecca.
Oh, what a phenomenal night for Aaliyah Boston. Just a huge impact starting on the defensive end of the floor, blocking shots anytime Arkansas dared to attack inside, and then turning defense into offense, being out on the perimeter. And how about your 6'5" big post player running the floor like this? And then Henderson finds her for the easy two. An all-around terrific game by the smiling Aaliyah Boston.
Well, it's time for Holly Rowe to chat with Aaliyah Boston.
Well, Aaliyah Boston, you started this game patrolling the paint. It was almost impossible for Arkansas to get in there. You discouraged so many shots with 4 blocks in the first quarter. What was your mindset going in to protect that paint?
I mean, we had some plans that were to have them drive into the basket, and I was just there.
You were just there. They did not want to come into your area. Tonight you did something that only 2 other women have done in SEC history. 26 points, 16 rebounds, 6 blocks, something that only Candace Parker and Sylvia Fowles have accomplished. What does that mean to you to be thought of with names like that?
I mean, wow, that's exciting. Thank you for telling me. I mean, that's just an amazing accomplishment for me. They are great players, and for me to kind of join that group is very exciting.
Well, thank you so much. A privilege to watch you play tonight, Aaliyah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, a huge performance from Aaliyah Boston. Number 4 South Carolina, 104-82 win over Arkansas with Asia Wilson in the building. For our producer, Kerry Callahan, our director, Jimmy Platt, Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe, and our entire crew. I'm Ryan Rucco. Kelsey, Sue, and Coach coming up on the postgame.